Go.
Bryan-jon, yeah,
Good
get
God.
your mic where you have. Be ready for this
Right.
little podcast that we're doing here that you're producing and hosting with me. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Through the Lens. I'm Haleigh Overseth here with Bryan-jon, and we are back, baby, for another episode. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I just noticed. I wanted to, because we've been having like full disclosure. We've been having problems with Parapost when it comes to people putting up their videos. It's not us. It's not StreamYard. It's Facebook. So I went to go to my page to share it over to Parapost and on my page because it's going on my page. It's on my page right now. And for some reason, where you hit share to another page, it says copy, and there's a little link there.
This is Bryan-jon. You're pushing technical button sauce over there that I don't know what you're talking. You know that this is some kind of IT technical stuff in the backdrop sauce that
let
I
me
don't.
let me take a look on, because it's right now it's not on Parapost, and because we were having problems sharing over to Parapost. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my other page where I have it on right now and see if it will allow me to share it over there. And let's see.
Are we just causing you so much stress,
Yeah,
Bryan-jon?
I'm very stressed to be honest.
Oh,
And
I hate to
it's
start the
pissing me off, to
podcast
be
with you
honest.
being so stressed with Facebook. Do we need to write a strongly worded letter to Mr. Facebook Zuckerberg man? I can certainly do that.
Well, I'm
I've
sharing
got
it
some
right
good
now.
I've got some good written communication skills. We can write a very strongly worded letter to Mr. Zuckerberg about his
Yeah,
streaming.
like he's going to
You
pay
got to get
attention.
your StreamYard Facebook situation needs to be straightened out so that we can be doing our Parapost Network Central podcasts.
I don't think he's going to give a crap, to be honest.
Well, he should. We have Bob Squad coming on the podcast this evening, and we've got Tea Time with Tanner coming up to start with. Facebook, you should be so much more thrilled and excited to be getting our stuff correctimus so that we can be putting our cool awesomeness out to the world. Excuse me.
So it's on there right now. It's on Parapost right now.
We've got it right. See, look at you got it figured out.
Yeah, I got it figured out. You know, it's a pain in the butt, to be honest. To be honest, it's. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Seems to be a lot of issues with.
Well,
I wonder if StreamYard and Facebook are arguing with each other in some way.
Oh, maybe they're having some couples. They need to go to couples therapy. Facebook and StreamYard are having a little bit of a row. So we gotta send them to counseling.
So what I think I'm going to be doing is, I think before the Global Ghost Hunt starts, I think I might change platforms. Because we can't have these problems when Global Ghost Hunt is on.
Oh, no. Sorry,
So
Mr. Zuckerberg.
I wonder if I go over to Restream, because I noticed a lot of people are going over to Restream.
Oh, instead of StreamYard?
Instead of StreamYard. Maybe I'll go back to Melon. That was a disaster and a half, Melon.
I never knew that there was such a thing. I thought Melons was just stuff that I eat.
It's funny, because when I first started Through the Lens with Lex, we had our show on a platform called Melon. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the rest of them. It was like $15 a month.
Maybe you just
StreamYard. What's that?
Maybe we need to just start our own streaming platform service.
Oh, okay. Do you got like $500,000 worth of servers?
You know, I don't, but like, let's find some investors, okay? And like, let's get this rolling and be like, y'all, we need a podcast streaming service that is just for the podcasters. It makes friends with all of the social medias to make it all nice and easy. No technical difficulties. Bryan-jon can breathe easy.
Well, I don't think a lot of people know this, but you know who owns StreamYard, right?
I do not, actually.
Logitech.
Okay.
Logitech owns StreamYard. They also own Melon. And the only reason why I know that is because when we did the first Global Ghost Hunt, I was out there looking for sponsors. So I got in touch with StreamYard, and I got an email from the head guy at StreamYard and it was a Logitech email address.
You know, that's another one of those, like, how do you follow all the corporate this one's owned by that one, owned by that one, owned by Sony. Viacom owns everything, so
They also own Melon, and they also own Streamlabs.
Well, I see. There you go.
Anyhow, it is what
it is, and we welcome everyone back to the podcast. We
can't be having this problem when the Global Ghost Hunt's on. So I got to figure out something quickly because Global Ghost Hunt starts on
the 17th.
On the 17th.
17th is when we're
I definitely do not want to have any issues with StreamYard. So I'm thinking about getting rid of StreamYard, to be honest.
Well, let's ask Tanner to do some research. Maybe he would be able to help.
Tanner knows everything about everything. Tanner's already done the research on StreamYard and Facebook.
Well, let's go ask him.
Let's bring him up. Let's bring him up and ask him.
Tanner.
There we go.
Solve our problems for us.
Yeah. Hey. No, I don't know if you saw my comments or not. I have actually done the research on StreamYard and Facebook. So my business is Truly Odd Studios. So like podcasting and keeping on top of this is part of my job.
Bending Spoons bought StreamYard?
Yeah. So I can't remember if it was Gage, if he owned it or if he was just the tech guy. But yeah, so the email that you got was because the owners, I believe their day job was with Logitech. I'm not sure about that one, but it was privately owned until it was bought by Bending Spoons. This is the same company that screwed up Evernote and screwed up every other company that they've gotten. They basically just get it, strip it. Currently, it looks like they are taking StreamYard more away from like doing stuff like this and more into the corporate setting with doing webinars and doing large business solutions for large teams so that it kind of takes over the Zoom stuff.
I took a look at the webinar to see if I could set it up as a webinar to see if I can connect it with Facebook. But
all right,
well, I went to Restream. So I ended up I tried a couple of different platforms. I tried.
Have you heard of Melon?
I've heard of Melon. I decided not to go with it because it's so glitchy and has so many problems. But I went with Restream. Now here's the problem with Facebook. I believe they're throttling the bandwidth. So if there's a ton of posts and there's a ton of lives and there's third parties connecting to pages, this is a problem with Restream. This is a problem with StreamYard. This is a problem with everyone connecting to Facebook currently on Parapost. I think we're hitting some sort of bandwidth issue with Facebook, but the problem is on Facebook's end, not the provider of the streaming right now.
Yeah. So they'll figure it out.
Look at that. We didn't know.
Oh, they figured it out. It's very expensive for them to keep doing bandwidth the way that they've been doing. So they've been throttling back live streaming on the Facebook platform for a while. So what they've done is they're putting more and more restrictions on streaming on Facebook because they don't want it.
Oh, well,
so they fixed it for themselves. It kind of sucks for us, but they want.
Yeah, well, we're still getting up there.
Yeah.
So, like I've told people on Parapost that if your show's on another channel or another page, like a personal page, share it over to Facebook or share it over to Parapost. I've told people to do that before until the situation is fixed, if it's ever going to be fixed.
Well, like my Killer Pros stuff, I've taken that totally off of Facebook. It only goes out to Twitch and YouTube, and I'm about to take it further and just start doing stuff through my Discord. So with Truly Odd, we're looking at putting our live stuff behind a paywall and doing if you want access to the lives, you join Truly Odd Plus and you have access to our private Discord server where we actually do the lives and stuff like that. But we're in the process of leaving Facebook altogether.
Discord, guess what? I'm going to ask you about Discord then too. Tanner, you didn't know you were going to come up here and talk about podcast advice, and you're going to get to tell us about another fun topic.
Yeah.
Let me change this background real quick.
Before we get to that,
there we go.
There you go.
And this is why it's so important for, I think, personally, to get Parapost up and running when it comes to the platform. To get the streaming going on that page, so that way people can go over to that page and create do all their live shows with no issues at all. So anyways, other than that, what do you got for us today?
Things change, and this is actually a pretty good segue. So we're all familiar with like ghost stories and hauntings and even the texts and things that we look at when it comes to exorcisms, when it comes to banishing spirits, when it comes to the background for different horror stories. But recently I ran across an article, and this is something apparently people have been making how-to guides for over 3,500 years. So currently in the Smithsonian, there is a tablet about the size of the palm of your hand, or a tablet that fits in your hand, that is part of a guide for banishing spirits. And it is the earliest known recorded depiction, like picture, of a ghost. And it's basically a guide on how to get rid of them. So we have been doing how-to guides for at least 3,500 years on how to deal with ghosts, and not a lot's changed. Except there is one interesting thing. At the bottom of the tablet, the last piece of advice there is don't look behind you.
The last piece of advice is don't look behind you.
Mhm.
But what if the ghost is back there and you got to go banish it?
I'm assuming you don't want to see it.
Oh, but okay. Don't look behind you.
Don't
All
look
right.
back. Yeah.
Don't look back. Well, you know what? That's a great advice in life as well as in banishing ghosts. Don't look back. Do we have photos of this that we're able to share up on the screen at all? Is that something like
I don't, but what I can do here is, this is the article from the Smithsonian Institution. It's over at smithsonianmag.com. I'll go ahead and get that and then drop it into the comments.
I love it. I bet they could find even older information about spirit banishing, or this is a tablet as in like someone carved into stone.
Actually, you know what? Let me do a screen share real quick, because I think I can share that now that I've put that up there as a thingy.
And I love that it's like a tablet, as in like we were doing cell phone size little guide things back in the
Before
like
the BlackBerry.
that it was a little BlackBerry of how to banish ghosts. That is, oh, look at that.
No, that's
That
it.
is
And so
pretty
this
cool.
this picture that you're seeing here can only be seen under special lighting that still catches the pigments that was used to draw the images there.
So it's also like invisible ink.
Yep, invisible ink, secret exorcisms from
What?
oh, where is this from?
What?
Babylon.
What?
It's
Awesome.
from it's a Babylonian tablet.
Man, there were some party kids hanging out in Babylon. I dig it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They've got invisible ink, secret little tablets about how to
that's the only
banish
picture there.
spirits. I want to go back in time in a time machine with Bill and Ted and find those rockin' rad people who were making those tablets. That is that's some fun, cool stuff.
There's rumors, and I can't find it now. It is, but I can't find it now. But there are cave paintings that have been said to depict horror stories. We don't know if it's them actually telling about a ghostly encounter, or if it's just horror. But at the Horror Writers Association, I write horror books and scary stories. There's this story about this cave painting. Decoder ring, yes.
Yeah,
but the oldest known actual work of fiction is a horror story. It's the world's oldest genre, which I'll be adding to here in April. My novel is out for developmental edit right now, and it'll actually be released in April next year.
That is really cool and exciting. I love that. Definitely keep us posted on when that comes out, because I want to check that out. I love that kind of stuff, cave paintings and, exploring human consciousness from then and now. Like, we've been doing art forever too, people. It's a valid part of our existence to create stories. I love that. That's so rad. Wow.
It's fun. Random story. Yeah, random fact.
We get science news, we get paranormal science news, and podcast advice when we tee off with Tanner, and that's an amazing thing.
Tee off with Tanner. Now it's tee off with Tanner.
Hey, well, because that's how we do. We tee off the proceedings, tea time with Tanner, and I tell you what, we get all kinds of good, tasty information, and I'm so appreciative.
Yeah, we do. We do. Well, that was awesome. Thank you, Tanner.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Tanner.
See you guys next week.
Give a shout out to your website before we go.
Yeah, you can check me out if you have any questions about the paranormal, hauntings, paranormal history, or you're starting your own paranormal podcast. hit me up at ghosthunteradvice.com. You can leave a voicemail there. Just click on the microphone at the bottom of the website. You got 2 minutes. Ask your question. Tell your haunted story. And if you have a ghostly encounter, I'm actually putting those together for a podcasting project. You can go to the website and do what I just said to ask a question, or you can email your encounter to me at ghosthunteradvice@gmail.com. We're putting those together into a new podcast project.
That
Awesome.
is really
Excellent.
cool. I might do that. Very cool.
Okay, buddy. We'll see you next week.
See you
Awesome,
guys.
Tanner. Peace.
Yeah. Wow.
Love it.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was cool.
that's some fun stuff. Look at all the good information we get from Tanner.
Yeah, I had a
love
lot
it.
going on here, and there's a lot going on here, and I got a while we were online, while we're live right now, I got a
while we're getting
audition
ready to
for
bring up
another
the
audition for another TV show. So we'll
how
see how that goes.
exciting!
Yeah, I've done so
cool.
many in the last 3 weeks. It's unbelievable.
I dig it.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
hey, keep
So
it rocking, keep it busy.
before
but
we bring up Bob,
commander of the Bob Squad.
Yeah, we never really got to talk about what's going on with you or me.
What's going on with me and you? Oh Lord,
Yeah.
Bryan-jon, I'm just trying to keep up with all the podcasty stuff, and I'm so glad that Bob Hansen, my buddy over in San Diego, was just like ready to come through in the clutch and jump on into a podcast with us. I tell you, I'm doing my best to keep up with just life in general.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know.
How about you? You just like rocking and rolling, getting the auditions and doing the things.
Nothing much. Yeah, doing the things. I had 2 the last 2 days. I did one Sunday and I did one last night. Or
Well, hot damn,
yeah.
you are just busy.
And 2 commercials.
Hey-o.
One was for a fireman, and another one was for hold your laughter. Hold your laughter when I say this, okay?
Oh, this is going to be great because we got a comedian coming up.
Yeah, hold your laughter when I say this. They were looking for somebody that looked like Mr. Clean.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? Listen, getting work is getting work, man.
Yeah,
if you can use it if you got it, why not?
Well, what are you going to do? It is what it is.
I put pigtails in my hair and I'm a Pocahontas type. Whatever. Cool. Let's roll, you know?
Punky Brewster. Remember that show?
Oh, Lord. That's you're digging deep in the memory banks there. I got to check. I got to go
Brewster.
Google sauce that.
Okay. So you want to introduce our guest?
Our guest, Bob Hansen, comedian and former San Diego heavyweight pro wrestling champion. He is just good time, fun stuff. Just got done filming his dry bar comedy special, Rock and Roll Daddy. And I want to hear more about all that and the touring that he does with Zoltan Kazsas. And he has also opened for Rowdy Roddy Piper, Jay Mohr, and Sammy Shore. What's up? Let's bring up our buddy, Bob Hansen.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot. Those are some big names.
Well, 2 of the 3 of them are dead, so if that's any consolation.
Okay, well,
just to
this is true, but
that was such a great intro just to take the piss out of me just a little bit. Like that clearly shows it's been a minute.
Oh no, come on now. You're still out there rocking and rolling, getting up and
I'm rock and rolling, strutting, strolling, slamming, jamming, moving, grooving, rubbing out. Mr. Clean, it was a popular commercial. Haleigh, you don't remember Punky Brewster?
I know the name, but I'm gonna have to Google sauce to get an image in my brain of it.
I follow her on Instagram. Actually,
that's the one where like the little furry alien guy ate all the cats.
What?
I don't remember that. That isn't that Elf?
No, Alf
Alf.
Alf got adopted by Mr. Drummond and had a catchphrase.
Mr. Drummond was from the I think you're getting all screwed up in your things here. Mr. Drummond was wasn't he the what you talking about, Willis?
Mr. Drummond,
Different Strokes.
He played Saleo Moonfry in the biography, unauthorized on A&E.
Okay, yeah. Soleil Moonfry is a girl that I follow her on Instagram, and she's not a lot. She still looks the same, to be honest. She's just older. And
good for. I mean, listen, them Elvira ladies and Dolly Parton and all of them who just keep on a rocking no matter how much they age. I'm for it.
I thought Mr. Drummond was from Different Strokes.
He is.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say I don't. Bob Squad and Bryan-jon, y'all
this
be
is
making
we're going back years.
I know y'all are making some references that I can't quite catch, but that's okay. I'm here for it. I dig it.
Well, how old are Haleigh? How old are you?
How old? How?
It's okay. You can ask a woman how old she is.
Oh yes, I'm 37. I'll be 38 very shortly.
Thinking about it,
you would have missed that.
You would have missed that by probably about 4 or 5 years. My
group was the first to like be raised on reruns, so it's kind of a weird thing because we watch 80s stuff, but if you were an 80s kid, you also watch 60s and 70s stuff because Nick at Night or Nickelodeon or just syndication in general finally existed. So you kind of just watched, you got caught up pretty quickly if you were an 80s kid.
What is the stigma of men being able to ask a woman how old she is?
What is wrong with that? I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it because some of them might smack you in the face.
I don't understand why. I don't understand what the problem is when a man asks a woman how old she is. Like I've never understood that. I mean, I understand women are fighting they like to fight the years, and I get that. But at the end of the day, you should still be proud of how old you are, right?
I guess.
Am I wrong?
All day, every day. I am so proud of myself.
Shut up.
All day, every day, Bryan-jon. I'm so glad that I made it this far in life in my human ride.
What's wrong with asking a woman how old she is? I've never understood that argument. Well, you shouldn't ask a woman. That's rude. How did that turn out to be rude?
You should ask how old she is, probably. Like
because one woman got mad once, probably in a public setting, and then the rest of society went, you know what? We're done.
We're done.
We're not doing this ever again.
Don't do it. Don't make us upset.
Probably some old Ed Sullivan or whoever who was before Ed Sullivan. I don't know. They're all dead. There's probably some old episode of some of those Tonight pre Carson talk show guys where some foolish talk show host asked that, and then for the rest of society, we just said we're done.
I have to be honest. I've never understood why women get upset or how it became rude to ask a woman how old she is. How did that become rude?
I think Bob Squad, I think you're onto something. I think it just was a thing that was in a pop culture sphere once upon a time, and we all decided it was true in real life.
There was 1.5 TV networks, and somebody did it once, and it didn't go well, and for civilization just went, all right, for the rest of humanity, we're just never doing that again. And then
we're just never doing that again.
Carry on, and here's Elvis above the waist.
Well, okay, and I get that, but at the same point, it's almost like the exact same thing with Karens. Like the Karen phrase came out 2 or 3 years ago?
Yes,
and now it's rude to call somebody Karen. But what happens if it's actually her name?
See, that's what that's what I always thought too. And I thought, well, but they're not all whatever. I don't know.
We got Karens and Darrens? I think it's Darrens, right?
Do you see the paradox of being named Karen right now? Because even if you're not the type to complain, if you do complain about that one issue, now you become one. The snake eats itself.
That is so true, Bob Squad.
And that's why they're upset.
That's fair, though. You're damned if you do, and you're damned you do
help people.
I know you do, which is exactly what your Dry Bar comedy special was all about, right?
No, I don't think it is. I thank you for the plug, but and I do appreciate that. I crossed my fingers. I said, I hope she lets the audience and the viewers and listeners know that I was immediately available. I want everyone to know how blatantly open my schedule was.
No. Listen, I want everyone to know what a nice guy you are. That you would just like you're a buddy, you're a pal, and you'll help me out, and you'll be like, I will make time for you.
It's one of those things where somebody messaged you, "Are you available this day?" Well, of course I am. What about
you know why? Because I'm the one who asked.
I have to cancel. Can we do it next? Of course we can.
It's you know what it is. When I ask, everybody wants to say yes, and I appreciate that, Bob Squad, that you proved that for me.
Are you able to fit through the door with that big head of yours? Haleigh,
you're helping me out.
Love bombing is what I do. That's how I roll. Okay? That's my superpower in this world. All right? My finisher move is love bombing. Okay? That's what it is. It's not a
I'm okay
with it.
I'm okay with it. And that's why you're my new host for Through the Lens.
That's
if I didn't have a lot of respect for you, you wouldn't be sitting in that chair right now.
No, thanks.
There you go. So
see,
she also liked it. She also, I know how to suck up sometimes.
See,
but you know, like
you've learned.
What was it? 2 weeks ago, we had somebody on the show, and I think it was
do?
after the show where Michael said, "Your co-host." I said, "No, she's my host."
That's right.
Yes.
And it's so kind of you, Bryan-jon. I appreciate you.
She messaged me after and she goes, you know what? That was really nice of you to say that. Because it was true. It's true.
See, and that's put me on an even keel with you. I appreciate that. That's the kind of stuff I'm about.
Sucking up. I'm a good actor.
Yeah, see, there you go. And so is Bob Squad. Y'all do so well pretending like you can handle all my crazy, and I so appreciate it.
Oh, I handle your crazy.
Y'all do so well.
I accept it.
That's because that's all you can do. Yeah. It's not going to change.
Let's get back to Bob.
Bob, tell us. No, tell me though about the filming of the Dry Bar comedy special.
Oh yes, I guess Dry Bar. I guess it's this a streaming platform of some sort. That's what the kids are into. Where I guess the comedy's all clean. I'm more PG-13ish live, but in this scenario,
PG-13ish, I would say,
I'm pretty sophomoric, but either way, this was I guess it's a Dry Bar's a popular streaming platform. A lot of people in the Midwest and the South enjoy it, as well as some folks on either coast. It's based out of Provo, Utah, and I guess there is a lot of Mormons in the audience and outside the building in the town as well.
Well, that must be tough.
I think I might have been the biggest feminist in Provo, Utah, when I went. It was like
really.
They were outside marching for good enough pay. Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know. I made that up.
That's good. I love it.
They were good folks. I don't know. I had a lot of fun filming the thing, but whenever it comes, that's the thing. It's not out, so I have no link to give you. They filmed it in March, and they have a somewhat final-ish draft, and they're taking their sweet time. So I have no link just to give you. Except
is this a normal thing for them to slow roll? Okay.
It sometimes takes a full year for some people or more, and sometimes they come out in 6 months. But I don't know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that before the year is up, the thing will come out. So that'll
you just keep rocking and rolling and doing shows. You got some live sauce coming up. Folks can check out your links in the description.
Yeah, I got links if you're in the San Diego, California area. I got a handful of stuff coming out. But every Wednesday, I'm in Point Loma, or Ocean Beach, as the kids call it. At Lazy River Comedy, we got a free bar show. So if you're in San Diego, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, come to my free show. Come say hi. Just come over.
Just come over. Just hang out, because Bob Squad is just good fun times.
Just come over. We'll do the stuff. We'll we'll schmooze and network and movers, shakers, trendsetters, go-getters. What do you say? What do you know? Tip the veal, try the waitress, some weather we're having.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, you know what it is. How's tricks? How's the kids? All that kind of good stuff. And
what do you think about spontaneous human combustion? Standard conversation.
I think a lot of the people involved are blowing up right now in social media.
The spontaneous human combustion community?
Yeah.
Not more than once.
Tried. That's all I had for you on blowing up.
No, I love it. That's fantastic.
That's all I had for you. Other than that, I haven't seen them myself. I just hope they're not driving at the moment. You don't want to have that, because that could cause a vehicular collision with your automotive vehicle, and that's bad.
Then you're causing problems for everyone else aside from just exploding.
Exactly. Like, you know how the end of the what was the Avengers one in 2018, where at the end of them they were all turning to dust. It wasn't Endgame, it was one before, an Infinity War, where half the people are blowing away because they
blown away in ashes, right?
And some of them were in cars and helicopters, so you see some of the stuff crash. So you don't want to have that. And also, what if it's a rental? Like, that's not good. because then you got a situation where
well, because then who's going to be paying for that, right?
Right, and that's going to be paperwork, and we don't want that.
You don't want to be making homework for the rental car company person who's like, what am I supposed to do with like fire damage because you just like turned into the flaming torch?
Right. Like, why is there a spleen in a cup holder? We don't need any kind of situation.
Nobody
like that.
needs that. I mean, unless
it's bad enough you rent a car from the airport and they got these newfangled gizmos and gadgets and whatchamacallits and who-da-thunkets where they don't have keys, where you just press a button and the pedal at the same time, like we're on Star Trek. I don't understand the things. You don't like the back up. No, and I have a key. This is America. Who won the war? What are we doing?
Who won the war? What?
You know, I thought, what happened to 1776? Now we're pressing buttons to start keys. That's not what the forefathers envisioned for our cars.
You're not loving on the Jetsons kind of feel of that? You don't like the newfangled futuristic?
I don't want to see video of me backing up. I just want to be surprised once in a while.
You just want to back up until it sounds expensive, right?
Yeah, I just want to feel something, but people don't want to feel things anymore.
You know,
a bunch of maniacs.
That is absolutely true. I love it. I love your perspective on it. And I appreciate you doing a little bit of improv with me here.
I help people, Haleigh. I help people.
You do. That's why you're commander of the Bob Squad. You are a superhero out in San Diego.
How many people in that squad?
Counting the dogs, 2.
Okay, there you go.
There's a healthy chunk.
I guess one question I would like to ask: how does one go from being a pro wrestler to a comedian? Like, that is obviously 2 different, like, ends.
So yeah, tell us about that transition.
How did that transpire?
I'd say they're more similar than you think. How did it transpire? Good question, because at one point I was doing both.
Okay.
So that's tricky.
Because if you're traveling around doing shows, you may as well do some stand-up while you're there, right?
I think I was doing, at the time I was wrestling and doing stand-up in San Diego both anyways. I wouldn't say traveling was a lot of traveling. We're talking a couple of car rides here and there. You're home the same night, let's put it that way.
Nothing wrong with that.
I always say this, there's more similarities. The biggest differences with wrestling is at some point your body quits for you. You can stand up and talk into a microphone for most of your life pretty much, but at some point when you're 30-ish or whatever you are, and then your body acting, you haven't made this living in the wacky, wild, fun world of professional wrestling. At some point your body does tell you, you are done. Don't bother. So it's kind of nice in a way. You don't have to agonize over the decision. You just get it's made for you. Like, no, you're done. Your neck can't do this. Your knees can't do that. You've been hit in the head X number of times, et cetera, et cetera. You are done. But when I was in New York City, in 2020 during the pandemic, I don't call it pandemic. I call it pandemic.
I call it
you know what I like to call it? Poisoned.
Yeah. By who?
Poisoned.
By what? The vaccines and stuff?
No, poison. COVID was a poison, not a flu.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a flu.
No. I'm not saying you said that, but what I'm saying is that, it was determined that it was more a poison, not a flu, like a flu type symptoms kind of type of thing. It was actually determined that it was a poison, not what people say it was.
Oh, I don't think I got it. Anyway, I never got it. I think I was diplomatically immune.
Yeah. Nor did I.
Oh,
well,
that's interesting. Neither have I.
Well, what is your blood type?
Mine, believe it or not, is B positive. So my blood type is also advice.
B positive.
What's yours, Haleigh?
Is also advice. I love that. I'm O positive because
that's what I am. And they say people that are O positive are less likely to catch COVID than anybody else in the blood zone areas, I guess.
Maybe it's that positivity, that being extra positive that's keeping Bob safe.
Now,
too.
correct me if I'm wrong. Is it O positive or O negative? O negative can donate blood to basically anyone, or is that O positive?
I
believe it's O positive.
I don't remember.
I think it's O positive that can give blood to anyone. You know who's going to answer that for us?
That was it. I don't know who's up in the
that will be Raymond.
Comments. Raymond is he like Raymond? Let us know.
So yeah, I will say though, it's an interesting transition. I can see the similarities because of the entertainment value of it, because you're an entertainment in pro wrestling and you're an entertainer in being a comedian as well. So I could see those similarities.
These would be the two biggest similarities. You have one take. That's for me. That's the biggest similarity. You have one take, and you're kind of playing one character all the time, and whatever regular audience you do have pretty much assumes you are that guy. It's not like being neither thing, nor wrestling nor stand-up comedy is like being an actor. You kind of, most people are fairly bright. They know their actor is playing. That's not Iron Man. That's Tony. What's his face? The other guy in Back to School, whatever his name is.
The other guy. There you go.
Sure, and they kind of get that, but with comedy and wrestling, the line is very fuzzy. But you have one take. You're that one character. Obviously, the physical stuff is the huge difference. I mean, clearly that's the big thing. But also, you have a dance partner with wrestling, or two or three, depending on who your referee counts too. So, there's other people talking to you. What's going on? What are you doing? Both things, you ideally have a good idea of how many minutes you should be out there and shouldn't be, and you kind of know what you're doing. And ideally, you know how you have a good idea on how you want to start and how you want to, and definitely how you want to end. But at the same time, there's calling it on the fly in both these aspects. So really, I just kind of feel like I'm still doing comedy. I'm still doing pro wrestling, just in my brain. And there's there's only one. No one else is allowed in, until I regurgitate the information. Part where you don't go to the dive bars. I have.
Like that's where you catch the COVIDs and the pandemic. So during the pandemic,
yes. The reason I call it the pandemic is because I think it was. Well, I'll answer that question. I will answer that. The reason I call it the pandemic is because I think it was a lost marketing opportunity to have a pandemic mascot for the kids called Panda Mick, the pandemic panda.
Oh, I was thinking pandemic as in like some kind of panda-shaped potato, something for McDonald's, Panda Mix. I don't know.
Well, like a food item. Well, then you can't go and buy it because the store's closed. That would be no. But I thought Panda Mick, the pandemic panda, would be great. Like he says hi to the kids and they get excited and they go to hug him and he's like 6 feet. What did I tell you? You kids learn nothing.
Get just pushing the kids away with a stick. There you go. That's a great. Why did we not have that mascot? The pandemic would have been
money. They just hate money. That's why.
Fun. They hate money and
I'm trying to help people is what I'm trying to do. Chris asked, "Worst bump taken?" Or I guess bump is a fall or a literal
whatever you would call it when you get thumped real good in the wrestle space.
There were a couple of times because I was a smaller guy. I was like 180 something pounds, so I would be more of a jump off the top rope and to somebody on the floor type of guy.
Ooh,
I would say trying to go for like a reverse, as they call it, a Frankensteiner in the wrestling world, where you throw your legs around the dude's head, which is fun, and then you flip back and he flips forward and everything. But I did it to a guy off the top rope and he didn't support me as well, so I just kind of jumped off the top rope, attempting to throw my legs on this gentleman's face, LOL, and did the flip, and then of course I was just completely dropped on my head. So that knocked me a little loopy. So these things happen, but that would be one of the bigger, more spectacular things. Other things were just people 7 foot tall guys slamming you down on this ring instead of letting you fall and take the bump and going with you. But those things are not as interesting or fantastic. But yeah, trying to backflip a guy with a head scissors off the top rope and letting you fall on your head would be that's a rough day at the office.
Yeah, that is a rough day at the office for sure. But you did it. There's a little bit too, maybe I mean, you got to have a certain amount of confidence and bravery and risk-taking capacity to do both stand-up comedy and wrestling, because, obviously wrestling, there's a risk to being injured. There's a risk to having your head smashed and your neck messed up and falling on your head.
I don't feel brave anymore. I don't even then. I got nervous all the time for both things, but But now, no, I'm just up there, and worst thing that happens is you get humiliated. Nobody laughs, and Then you get off stage and they headbutt you in the face. No, I don't know what they do. They don't do that.
I was gonna say, I should hope no one's ever done that to you.
What's happening?
Yeah, being a comedian is very, very difficult. I truly, like, with me, when I'm going up and, doing the self-tapes for, whether it's TV shows, movies, acting and stuff like that, I send in my self-tape and that's it until I find out if I've gotten the part or not. And then going up and you could have several different takes, you know what I mean? So, but with comedian, it's like what you said earlier, one take and one take only. So
instant feedback. That's the positive.
Yeah.
Instant feedback. Wrestling too. Instant feedback. Yeah. And that is the thing. It's like you kind of, my most nervous part of any set is the first joke. Because that's where I know how it's going. That's where I find out how the rest of this is probably going to go.
I've been doing kind of like the first date.
What's up?
It's kind of like the first date to the first joke. It's like you kind of read whether or not this is going to go anyway. Is there any chemistry between me and this crowd? Let's find out.
Right. The advantage is it's like
interesting comparison.
Yeah, no, it's very much like that. It's
yeah.
Like, how are we going to enjoy this time? Except I have to do all the talking.
Well, there's that part. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's that part. I always say with other comics, whenever we yap about it and get up our own rear ends about how artsy and smart we think we are, the stand-up comedian almost always gets the job interview or nails the job interview to get the job. And then it's about Monday around lunchtime, you find out you hired the wrong person. But that 20-minute performance of the job interview, man, we are good at those. We do great at the interviews, and then it's like,
I love it.
There you go.
It's type O negative.
Like negative. Like,
I told you Raven would answer it.
The popular 90s rock and roll band.
I was just thinking, I love Type O Negative. Black Number One is such a rock and roll song. I love it.
There you go. I had them on the set. I don't recall them with a plot. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Anyone, I do too, though. Anyone that's got the courage to get up in front of a crowd of people who may be rowdy and drunk and problematic.
Yeah.
How about that? Have you ever had a situation where the show not going well was absolutely not to do with you, but to do with the crowd being in?
Especially anytime you try comedy in a bar. That's always the clubs are pretty well controlled. I'm hearing the dogs grumble. They haven't full on barked yet, but they're mad at somebody. Chloe just got reminded another dog exists, and that is upsetting to her. So
well, that's a thing that happens. We understand. We're all dog people here. It's okay. Yes. No worries. Nobody's gonna get upset over dogs barking.
It's definitely a struggle, though. Like obviously there are so many comedians out there, and I this is an interesting story that I really haven't shared with a lot of people. I used to work for a theater company back years and years ago. And every week we used to put on it was kind of like a stand-up comics night every Thursday at a community center. And we used to put this on. So these comedians would come up, we give them $100 to do their stuff. And there was this one individual that came out a lot. And I think we all know who he is. And that's where he really got his start. And because he came out to these community kind of type, it was at a community center done by a theater group to put on these weekly for comedians to come out.
Are you going to just be cryptic
and
not tell us who it is?
And I remember meeting him for the first time, and a great guy, and he was fresh and he was new. And that's what he would do. He'd go to these type of events just to work on his material and stuff like that. And that was Peter Russell's.
No, I'll be damned.
Yep.
Wow.
He's from Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to come out. He used to come out almost not every week, but he came out quite a bit. And he was funny. But as I think he got more popular, he became more funnier. But funny guy. You know who Peter Russell's is, Haleigh?
The name sounds familiar, and I'm like, now again,
he talks about his family. He talks about his family a lot because his family's his parents are East Indian, and he's East Indian actually. and
Okay.
obviously because his parents are.
Yeah.
But well, he might not. He could have been adopted. But anyways, but no.
But you don't get that kind of information necessarily from the comedy stand-up.
What do you mean? No, but
No, he's not
Peter
sharing.
Russell's was great, but I was there when he first started, and he's done extremely well as a comedian. But you know, those are few and far between, right? It's a very, very difficult, just like actors and actresses. It's very, very difficult business. But I wanted to ask you, what is your skit about? Like, do you talk about anything? Because, and the reason I ask this, because I've met a lot of comedians in my past. They will go up on stage and they will talk to the audience, and that's where their jokes are coming from. And just everybody, there's one famous comedian, there's one very, very popular comedian. I can't recall his name right now, but I see him a lot on Facebook.
That popular then?
Well, I can't recall his name, but I see him all over Facebook all the time. And he's always talking to the people in the audience, and he's great. He's funny. But so what kind of material do you have when you go up on stage, or is it just about everything every day?
I don't talk to people. I don't ask people crowd work, as they call it. I don't do crowd work. I try to avoid it if at all possible. I don't ask people. It's like I like the audience because I'm always impressed that they're there with more options for entertainment all the time, and they're still there live, eyeball to eyeball. To me, that always baffles me. But I leave them be because the truth is I like them, but I don't really care or where they work or how long they've been dating. So like
right, like
it's like if the thing is if I try it'll sound fake because it'll be fake. They're gonna know I don't care, so I don't bother. Now I have a lot of Bob is a character to some extent. There's a lot of being Bob. I guess it is very pro. Even though I don't mention wrestling all that much on stage, once in a while I'll bring it up. But if I'm really feeling froggy, I might as well jump. But no, there's being Bob. There's things going wrong. A lot of jokes. I'm a classical. That's a shitty word. I shouldn't say that. I'm more of an old school. I'm more of I like jokes. I like jokes. Just like no one tells jokes anymore. I just want to be real, man. Here's a real story about my dad sent me this funny text, and the guy from Tinder said something dumb. Well, then are they here? If
are they here? That's
because they sound hilarious. I agree.
They sound hilarious. I love it. Bring them on the stage.
I'm taking a few jabs.
But you're allowed.
You know what you got to do. But yeah, I don't like. I'll get it. I like to let you learn who I am through the joke. You'll figure it out. Like somebody once said. One time I heard two famous comedians in some goofy conversation. One was kind of goofing on Seinfeld, and I think the other one said, "You don't understand. Just because the material is clean, you don't understand. Seinfeld's an angry guy. He's mad at a lot of things. Just listen to this. Never mind his interviews. Just listen to the set. This guy's upset. Anyone could be upset about the divorce and losing the job and the house and this. This guy's angry over his socks or whatever. Like, you don't understand. This is so Bob's a guy who's there's a lot of slipping on a banana peel, and except towards the end, maybe the last joke, maybe I get mine, and maybe I don't.
Yeah, maybe
we'll find out. It's always a little story, but he's kind of like he's a throwback guy, I guess, a little bit. Like if a 1983 bad guy wrestler started stand-up comedy today and did what he could do.
But you know what? That's part of why you're my favorite, because I do love that about you. I love all the like 80s, 90s references. I do. I find it so fun. And I do like that you do the jokes that are a bit maybe, I wouldn't say dad humor is necessarily it, because it's more spicy. It's more spicy than that. But like,
yeah, your dad, like dads would like it. They're not really dad jokes, but jokes dads.
They're jokes dads would enjoy it. There you go. Bob Hansen, jokes dads would enjoy it.
Yeah. I think I try to keep it. I try to keep, like, what if a kid in the Catskills in the 50s or 60s was raised by wolves right behind the club? There's kind of like there's a little bit
behind there. I love that.
Yeah, like he was close enough, but something was not quite off. That's why I try to talk in certain ways. Like I'm not trying to just be grumpy and fuddy-duddy about the way the young kids talk, but it does get repetitive, especially when you sit through an hour and a half show and you hear, and I was like, and he was like, and she was like, and I'm like, and it's like, and I'm like, and I'm like, and it's like, and it's like, and there's so much like, and I get it. Young people talk that way, and I do it to some extent as well, but I try very hard. That's why there's a certain Bob speak, rock and roll daddy.
I love that though, because it is more interesting. You do have, that's another thing that I dig about your comedy is that you rattle off the fun words real like.
Yeah. We have a little fun with words.
A little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit of that, just nonsensical fun times wordplay that you got to do just to keep people on their toesies just a teeny little bit. I appreciate that.
Different. When there's a million of us, competition is crazy, like you said. So I'm trying to get Chloe to come on a couch and she doesn't want to.
Chloe Sauce, come on.
Come up there. But yeah, no, that's like you said, like Brian, like top competition's bananas. So it's like, okay, how can I sound unlike everybody else to the best of my ability?
How can I be the best Bob that I can be?
I think Bob's a dying breed, and not literally because the name is going away, but also he's a last of his kind type of guy. So this is clearly a man on his way out. So go check him out.
Like the last of the Mohicans, it's the last of the Bobbians.
This is the last Bob standing.
The last Bob standing. Oh, I love that. And what better Bob to be the last Bob standing than commander of the Bob Squad, Bob Hansen? I tell you what.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of different. I can't read. And Chris said Matt Rife. It's not Matt Rife. It's another guy. It's an older guy. He's bigger. He's always making fun of the crowd. But it almost seems like you're seeing a lot of that lately. The comedians going into the crowd and talking to the crowd and really making fun of them
for the last couple of years.
And and that's really, really growing into something. I think the old style of comedians like Eddie Murphy or Billy Crystal or Robin Williams, that type of comedy is kind of out the door.
I know
that's old comedy. So
like I'm a Dangerfield guy. I'm a Rodney Dangerfield guy.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Thing is, audiences actually do like jokes. Industry does not, and that is that is
politics. Even in politics, even in the comedian world, there's a lot of politics. I think there's a lot of politics in everything.
To
be honest, but it's unfortunate because that type of comedy was funny.
Respect.
That was funny comedy,
Chris, well done.
But now the comedy now is, and like Chris is mentioning Matt Rife. Matt Rife has found himself in a lot of hot water because of the way he spoke to the audience, especially in his Netflix series, where he got a lot of heat and making fun of somebody that had, I think it was making fun of a kid who had some kind of something wrong with the kid. I can't recall what it was, but he found himself in a lot of hot water. But again,
that's a question though,
but
when you're in that kind of, that's your brand of comedy, right? Do you sort of maybe get lost in that character a little bit and you take it too far because that's just kind of the natural progression of that character that you've become because that's the flavor of comedy that you do? Does that?
I think I think in that case, what he did was probably pretty smart. He doubled down on it so that the people who already like him, now they love him. And the people who love him more. The people who already didn't like him, well, now they're going to hate him more, but they're not going to buy tickets anyway. So there used to be, everyone's so much more niche with their blah, 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 with their audiences. I guess because you kind of have to be. When there were 3 networks and you go on Carson and you do your top 5, top 6, you do stuff that America is going to love because all of America is going to love you. And you right after that, you can go on tour. Maybe they give you your sitcom. It's an abbreviation for a situation comedy that they have on the popular networks and what have you, with a studio audience and 3 walls, and it's all very hilarious.
It's all very good.
But now with everyone's got, it was 98 streaming things, and then up and comers like myself have got our YouTube and our TikTok and our Twitch, and I should get on Twitch. I'm not twitching yet.
You got to get on Twitch and start twitching.
I need to twitch a little bit.
I have to be honest. Twitch is also dying.
Is it dying? The hell is Twitch then. I'm glad I brought it up.
Twitch is dying. It's just like Twitch. I saw Twitch transition from something it was nothing to something that was popular, and now it's going back to nothing again, to be honest. And a lot of times you'll see girls on there playing video games with with very little tops on.
I was gonna say it's kind of turned into a little bit of a like
an
OnlyFans PG-13,
like an OnlyFans type of thing. And it's just I hate to say it. I hate to say it because it's very popular, obviously, but I think social media in general is disappearing. I think people are getting sick of it, to be honest. And
Chris, you
TikTok,
made a very Rodney Dangerfield little joke there.
TikTok obviously it's very, very popular. But even now, like I've gone on to TikTok and I've seen girls promoting their OnlyFans page. And like I know you have to make money, and I get all that, but I think social media in general is really getting to a point right now where it's really not fun anymore, to be honest.
God, no, it's hideous. Myself and all my friends probably wouldn't be honored if we didn't do the stand up for some foolish reason. When the clubs have certain styles and demographics of comedians they like, and the rest of us guys in our 40s don't want to quit, we do what we have to do to stay alive in the game at some point, including now start your own bar shows and wait for your dry bar to come out and do all that kind of stuff. So
well, I think the problem is in general when it comes to social media of any type, the restrictions are becoming absolutely atrocious. Like I remember like last year, we had a show on Parapost, and it was somebody that was an expert in UFOs. So I put up an alien head of saying hello with an alien head, and I got a notice that goes against community guideline for an alien head.
What?
And I got they sent me, and it was taken down. My comment was taken down. And
some of that I think
ridiculous.
The algorithm that's being monitored by AI that's programmed by people who don't know how to,
It's getting atrocious. Like I saw something today. Somebody got a 48-hour ban, and they hadn't written in anything in like 4 or 5 days, but they got a 48-hour ban
on something
or something that they didn't even know what happened. Like they hadn't even posted or said anything in like 4 or 5 days. And like I've gotten a notice that was for Parapost Network, a video that was shown 2 years ago, that it got muted because of certain things that were not certain things that were said, or there was music played during the podcast and at the beginning, and it was 2 years ago. And I got a notification saying this was muted in certain countries. I got one the other day. It said it was muted in Russia.
So social media is just getting like super petty.
Yeah.
What's that?
Social media is just getting super petty.
They're just
backtracking and bored. I feel you mentioned up top that I opened for my buddy Zoltan in various parts of the country. I always listen to his show This Week in Zoltan. And the very first shot is a Bob Squad shirt, which I didn't wear today, of him. But anyway, on YouTube, but I always hear him and his co-host and his wife. The way you have to talk on YouTube has gotten kind of bananas. And I'm not even like a big, like, I don't want to be another comedian on a podcast going on about cancel culture, because it's been done.
But it's a thing.
But it's very real. But it's at the same time, it's like it's been covered. But I do get frustrated. I'm frustrated for him. I'm not really frustrated listening to it because I kind of expect it. But I'm frustrated for him because I know how he's trying to trip over the pretty not harmful words, and he's tripping. I could hear him tripping over. Wait, can we say this? Can we stop? Can I? What is the word? And then he starts spelling stuff and using initials and blah blah blah. And I can
Are we allowed to say this? Is this gonna get us demonetized?
I'm amused because I know him, and again, it's not my show.
Well, you got to be.
I know it's driving him nuts.
Yeah, you got to be careful on YouTube now, and even on Facebook now. You got to be careful of not swearing.
Yeah.
If you swear on a podcast, they will mute it or they will take down the video. And the same thing with YouTube. And, you know, it's just at the end of the day, it's just getting ridiculous. But, you know, and I think when it comes to certain people, like, for example, for a comedian like yourself, Bob, you know, you want to put that stuff up on your Facebook where you're performing next. And I've even seen posts being taken down because if you're trying to sell tickets, that goes against community guidelines through Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's getting really, really difficult to really promote anything anymore when it comes to when it comes to Facebook or Instagram.
All they're doing is encouraging people to start their own social media platforms that are not the
which I have.
Right.
I do have my own social media platform.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's all that they're doing is just encouraging people like you to start something else because you've got a community behind you of podcasters.
I have this idea for a new I have this idea for a new social media platform. It's called Scram. And the way it starts out with is everyone who joins is already friends with each other. So if there's 1 million people on it, you have 1 million friends. And
that's what mine is.
You can't add, but you can only block.
Yeah, so that's what mine is. That's what mine is.
You've done this already?
What mine is.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I do have that. My social media site is called Parapost Network. It's an app that you can download. It's mainly for paranormal. But UFOs, paranormal, supernatural.
I don't want a real focus. I just want to block people.
Well, you can. You can block people.
So, I just want everyone in the world to be added to my friend list so I can slowly go through and defriend.
So basically,
I like that. That's like the inverse of Facebook.
Right. So people brag about how little friends they have.
So basically what you do is you sign up to the site, and every time somebody posts something on the site, everybody sees it. And everybody can talk with everyone. The site is going to be brought down eventually because we're going to be putting up a brand new one that people are going to be able to go live on. So right now you can't go live, but it's a little bit down the road, you're going to be able to go live. So it's great.
Without
it's great
quite
to have
so
your own
many
platform.
The restrictions and things
There's
that
no
Facebook and YouTube and all the other.
The only thing we restrict is spam.
Right. But that's, you know, that is kind of one of the things, though, depending on what you talk about, is like paranormal, for example, or like, you know, horror movie culture, things like that.
Porn, I'm talking about. If porn
that's stuff,
on the site, it gets taken down.
But when you have things that are in the realm of creative, like paranormal, weird horror stuff, there are things that get taken down because, you know, it looks like violence, even though it's like a horror movie, like a B horror movie or something, right? Like the makeup kind of stuff, or like zombie posts and things like that, right? Like there's stuff like that I think, like those kind of things, even where it's like craftsmanship of people who are makeup artists or creators, or like Bob's talking about how you have to be so careful as a comedian what you say on a channel that your bits don't get taken down or you don't get banned or whatever, because that's your audience, that's where they find you. And if you get yourself booted off of those platforms, where do people find you?
Well, it's funny because same thing with now X. Elon Musk is allowing, and I think this happened. I think this was announced 3 or 4 months ago. He's allowing porn to be put on to X now, and you can put full videos on the platform now. And the way Elon Musk is looking at it is it's free speech.
Well, I don't want to know exactly how he's looking at it.
Yeah, right. I don't know if I want to know what kind. Like,
no. I don't mean like literally looking at it. What I mean is the way he looks at it is it's free speech, and it should be allowed. And you go to X now, and you type in adult, you're going to see full.
Is that why he changed it from Twitter to X? Was he trying to just go that direction the whole time? And I
think he wanted a letter that was cool in the 90s. I think he was just thought he was being hip and whatever. And
all you have to do is go to X, and now you can watch full videos. Like before, like it was on
Twitter
there.
Is now becoming Pornhub,
but it was considered spam. But you'd only see like a 30-second video. Now you're seeing a full 2 hour. You can download a full 2 hour movie onto X now, and it's
got time for this.
Who's got time? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Apparently,
download alone. Then you gotta watch the film.
Well, it's the same thing. Do you guys have you guys ever seen Trump's social media site?
No.
He's got his own social media site too.
Right. Well, I saw the Transformers 1, the arguably greatest film ever made, in theaters last Friday. It was so refreshing to see a 90-minute movie.
A 90-minute
not counting
movie?
Yeah, it was just 90 minutes of transforming alien robots. And
robots. I love it.
Robots. I always say robots because it's old timey and makes me laugh. But so to download a 2-hour porn, I'm like, how invested?
Well, it doesn't take very long. Take 5 minutes.
No, but I get what you like. Who's got that? That's a lot of time to be watching an adult film there, y'all. Like that's a
my point to all that. My point. There was a point to all that. So,
I know.
But
no,
listen, hey, listen.
I guess
it is what it is.
It's a wacky world out there, y'all. Just that's why we're creating our own communities and social media platforms over here, because stuff be getting seriously weird out there.
Yeah, I always find it funny is that they can watch us, but we can't watch them.
Yeah,
that's basically how it is.
Except to be honest, trying to get them to watch me, then they won't.
No,
Yeah,
they won't.
Conundrum. It's a conundrum. It's a paradox. It's a catch-22.
Bob Hansen.
We can't post an alien head, but you can go into my phone and see everything that I'm doing in my phone right now. So the irony for that is unreal. But it is what it is.
That's a fair point, though.
So, what are you going to do?
You're going to keep on rocking daddy because that's all you can do.
No, it's not.
Rocking daddy.
I do not do that. I do not do that. Thank you for saying that.
Raymond. Oh, Raymond.
It's just when you're going through X. Drama. When you're going through X and you see all these different
and you're like,
people reposting it or sharing it or whatever they're doing on X, it eventually gets to your page.
And I don't understand the repost. Like, hey guys, I never guess what I was just doing.
Right? Like,
where are the retweets? Where the hell they call? Yeah, I was like, where did? No, why would you?
Why would you do that? Because again, the world just keeps getting weirder and stranger and inappropriater. And I thought, okay, Elon Musk, I guess that's what we're doing. That's fine.
Oh, Elon.
Or Elon.
He's a trendsetter.
I get a dub some kind, I guess. That's what he is. Listen,
I dislike
Bob
watching
Hansen.
him. I like watching his interviews.
I do.
Oh God, they're so funny. They're so funny.
I love seeing people be just strange, and I do. It's good stuff.
Well, I think we're gonna have to have Bob on again down the road because we never really deep dive into Bob. We need to deep dive into Bob and find out where his mind is and why he wants to be a comedian.
You want to know what's on my mind? I'll tell you what's on my mind briefly.
Okay.
I'm convinced the Beatles' Nowhere Man, Black Sabbath's Iron Man, and Elton John's Rocket Man are secretly about the same guy. In that order.
That is a fantabulous conspiracy theory.
Thank you. And they're all British.
Bob has too much time on his hand for sitting down and thinking about.
I was ready to go for this one, wasn't I? But I do have to. I can tell some jokes tonight. As a matter of fact, it's a little over 6 p.m. here. I got to take my vertical nude body wash. We don't take showers in the Bob Squad.
Vertical nude body wash.
Vertical nude body wash. That's how we rock and roll in the squad, Daddy. And I'll tell you one more secret about the Bob Squad. All right, it ain't what we do. It's what we don't do. And what we don't do is stop rocking.
We don't stop rocking, Daddy.
We never stop rocking, Daddy.
Never stop rocking.
Doing things. Got the sort of aorta that'll rock you through your chakra. Doing Dallas with malice, leaving Sioux Falls with blue balls. We never stop rocking, Daddy.
So if there's anybody...
Thanks for the shout out, Bob.
Well, here's one more question that I would like to know.
Okay.
I would like to know this before we let you go.
And yes, Chris says good luck.
Who do you look up to?
Thank you, Chris.
Who do you look up to when you're watching a comedian? Who's somebody you emulate? Somebody that you'd say, how do I want to say this, Haleigh?
An influencer or someone
somebody
that like an inspiration
influences
to you.
Somebody, an inspiration to you.
As a comedian, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man Randy Savage. Because he was a performer, wasn't he?
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
I met
Every other
Macho.
You met the Macho Man?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I wish I did. He's dead
Yeah,
now.
I met him, and I met Elizabeth as well.
Oh, wow. She's dead too. Yeah.
You're going to have to meet them all in the Beetlejuice lobby.
I saw that arguably the greatest film ever made. I did see the second Beetlejuice film, and
did you now?
Oh, you're about an hour and 40 minutes, healthy length. It was good. Winona is perfect in that movie. She's great.
I love it. I'm gonna have to check it out.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna have to meet Winona someday.
Before she's in the Beetlejuice lobby.
Yeah,
let's try to
dying.
Yes, there was a lot of there was another one that I think it passed away yesterday or today. That was John Amos.
Oh, really?
The actor.
I missed that one.
No, his name's not John Amos.
Drake Ogston, who played John Black in Days of Our Lives, he's dead now too.
Oh, who was he? What was his name again?
Why did I know that so quickly?
I don't know. Why do you know that so quickly? Really,
Days of Our Lives way back when.
Last name was
That's
Amos.
impressive.
Anyway, Dikembe Mutombo, he's dead now too.
He was originally from the 70s show, not the 70s show, the show. He was on a show in the early 80s, late 70s. And he was the father. He also played the father of the guy that Coming Back to America. He was the owner of the restaurant. He was the owner of the restaurant that Eddie Murphy worked at.
Yeah.
He passed away today.
Oh, okay. Oh, today.
So
I don't remember that guy.
Right.
But James Earl Jones died a couple
Coming
weeks
to
ago.
America. You know that movie. Coming to America.
James Earl Jones?
He's dead, yeah.
Yeah. He died, I think, 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
It was Darth Vader in some of those popular sci-fi space fantasy films.
R.I.P. Vader, man.
Movies, yeah.
Good Times. The show Good Times.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
The father in that show, he passed away today.
How about that?
Or yesterday.
Just going left and right.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
they're
Good Times.
Waiting around the corner for us, but the icy hand of the Grim Reaper.
You want to find something, you can't find it. But,
That's all right. But listen.
Yes, I got to run my vertical nude body wash.
And do your thing and tell your jokes. But we so appreciate you coming on.
Let him tell some jokes.
Let a man tell some jokes. Bob Hansen and the
Let him go. Let him tell some jokes.
No, yes, but let everybody know where to find you.
Oh, yes. The best thing to do is just, I don't believe in websites. I don't think they're real. No, I just don't have one. Bob Hansen jokes, all one word, in the Instagram. You'll see the link to the weekly show we got in San Diego, plus everything else I'm doing tonight and Thursday. I think I'm at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, 916 Pearl Street. Do not park at Vaughn's. They'll tow your car. Now I'm around, and whatever dates if you follow Zoltan, I'll be at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina, with him at the end of October, and that's enough for now, I guess. There you go. You crazy cats.
I love it. Thank you so
much. Here's another person that died.
Oh, please.
Chris Christopherson died.
Yeah, the country
singer, the country singer.
Yeah, he's
now. What's interesting about that is where I buy my cars. Where I buy my cars, I usually purchase Nissans, and my sales guy that I go to, he is in a band, and he was good friends with Chris Christopherson. Very, very good friends with him. So
you have just the weirdest, silly little connections, Bryan-jon.
Yes, I do.
Ruin your afternoon.
Yeah,
love it. Again, thank you so much, Bob Squad, for joining us. We want to have you back again sometime so we can dive some more into.
That was funny.
I do love your stuff. Guys, go check out Bob Squad on the Instagrams. Follow him. And if you were in San Diego, check him out because he'll give you the giggles and you will enjoy it.
Links are in the description. Good night, Bob. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
All is good.
All is good. Oh, I love it.
Go.
Bob Hansen of the Bob Squad. I tell you, he is the best of us.
Yeah. So what's we never really got.
I know. Listen,
that was all over the place.
I'm so sorry. Sometimes that's how it goes, but that's why I love Bob Squad, because he can roll with the flow and do the improv and just kick it and have a good old time. And that's why I'm so glad he decided to join us.
We didn't even do a commercial.
Oh, well, because we were just having such a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And thank you so much, Chris and Raymond and everybody for joining us.
I enjoyed it.
Well, good.
I enjoyed that.
See, it's a good time when you just roll with the flow and see where things go.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's fun to just follow me along on my silly little adventure sauce, Bryan-jon, and just let me stream of consciousness.
There is absolutely no structure to this show today.
I am a Sagittarius. I don't do structure. I do where's the river flowing? Let's follow it. You know how this goes.
No structure to this show. Even Tanner.
But he gave us
talking about something else.
But we had some great information. Well,
yes. Was my fault. Was it? I think it was
Bryan-jon. Listen, we had some great conversation with Tanner too, and got some great information. And sometimes the best things happen when you don't have a plan. Sometimes the most fun is the unexpected fun that you have.
Exactly. I think you got I think Chris sent you a compliment.
Where? It said
I'll see you Sunday. What do you mean you'll see you Sunday? What's going on Sunday?
I'll be on Talking with the Source on Sunday. AJ's having me on Talking with the Source on Sunday.
Why? You don't want to go on that show. That's where people's careers end.
Oh, I don't think so. Come on now, Bryan-jon. AJ,
that's where careers
do you want to know what? You and AJ are going to have like an arm wrestling digital sauce somehow now. Like you guys are going to have a little.
AJ. I haven't spoken to AJ in a little while, actually. But I'll see him this Sunday. We have a meeting this Sunday.
Yeah. So for sure. And then after that, we have a live sauce to go hang out.
Yeah.
Y'all can come chill and
2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks. Global Ghost Hunt starts.
Global Ghost Hunt 17th to the 27th. Y'all get on globalghosthunt.com and check it out. I'm excited. I got some stuff that I got to send to you, Bryan-jon, for my
you got to send
my little investigations with my friend Casey. Cool. We had a good old time. I sat in the river in my clothes. Be prepared to see me just sat in my jeans in the river, y'all.
Yeah. Well, folks, I think that's it. I want to thank everybody that came on the show today. I want to thank Bob. I want to thank Tanner. I want to thank Haleigh. I want to thank everybody in the comments.
Thank you all for joining.
I'm going to do a new thing.
What's that?
Okay, ready?
What's that? 3, 2,
and out.